Ready? I'm just going to show you a couple things that I do in Canvas to sort of clean up after each quarter. I'm going to show you something in modules, and then I'll show you something in assignments as well. So these are things that I use to keep myself organized, and I think they're helpful for the students as well. So I'm going to start with assignments. So I'm just going to go in here. And so in assignments, you have what are called assignment groups. So these are the gray headings. So some of these you may have made by just clicking on here by saying plus group. Any of you that are syncing up to PowerSchool, you have groups that are the same name as the categories that you have in PowerSchool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a group and put everything in there that I don't need. So I'm just going to create a group, and I'm going to call it no longer needed. You can name it whatever you want, and I'm going to hit save. So that's going to pop up at the bottom. Now I can rearrange it if I wanted to, but I just leave mine at the bottom. Okay. And then anything that I want to put in there. So let's say I don't want any of these imported assignments anymore. I'm just going to go over here and click the little snowman. I'm going to hit move contents, and I'm going to move it to assignment group is no longer needed. That's where it's going. And then I'm going to hit move. And it is going to take them out of here. So you can see there's nothing there. I haven't lost them though. It's just moved them down here to no longer needed. So I can go in and do that to any assignment group that I have and just get those things out of there. So I can click right here, move contents. I can decide if I want to go to the top or the bottom, whatever. And then I just hit no longer needed. And then I hit move. Again, this is empty, and it's just, you can see my list in no longer needed is getting longer and longer. And then I can just do that, and everything is sort of cleaned up. So in my class, what that looks like is this. So I have nothing in here. I have a sandbox where I keep things that I play around with. These are things for quarter 3, but everything else is nice and tidy. And then you'll see down here, here's my no longer needed. So these are all assignments or things that I've had students do quarters 1 and quarter 2. So there's a lot down here. So I know some teachers might have no longer needed quarter 1. Some people say no longer needed quarter 2. I just throw it all in one place. The last thing that I do is I make sure that I turn off the sync. So I don't want these things to, because I've changed basically their category. It's called category in PowerSchool group in Canvas. I just turn this off because I don't want them to attempt to keep syncing. I just will get errors. So I'm just going to click on this little green check, and I'm just going to turn that to a black X. So I can still get to everything. All the students' grades are still there. They're still going to be in PowerSchool. I just don't want Canvas and PowerSchool talking back and forth to each other anymore. So anything in no longer needed just needs to have that black X. All right. And that's what I do. So that just helps me navigate through all the stuff that I create. So there's that one. I do the same thing in modules. So in modules, similar, you can unpublish things, which is nice because the students won't see it, but I don't want to see it either. So if I don't want to see things, and I'm finished with them and the students are finished with them, I delete them. I tend to recreate modules year to year, so I just get rid of them. I'm not going to lose anything that's in here. So all these things that are in here will still be in my assignments, but they just won't clog up my modules. So I just click over here and I just hit maybe delete. Oh, it's not working for me. Hold on just a second. So I'm just going to delete that. And so I can just delete this. And I don't know why it's glitching out on me here. All right. And so now I just have what I need for quarter 4 or quarter 3. So I just delete the modules that I no longer need, and it just helps me clear things up. Now, on the student's end, as long as they're not published, it's nice and clean for them. So this is definitely a selfish me hack. So let's look at what it looks like for the kiddos. So on the iPad, here's my course. So if I go into modules, you'll see the only thing that is there is that one thing. So it's super easy for them. It's nice for me because it's all gone on the computer end as well. And then in the assignments, um, so I don't know if you know this, it looks like there's all kinds of stuff here. I want to point out that up here it says no longer needed. So notice that that's the group they're looking at, and it's also saying Q2. So that's what it's defaulting to right now. If I hit clear filter, it's going to bring up everything. And then if I hit filter one more time and I hit Q3, it's only going to bring up what's in the dates for Q3. So that is a little helpful as well. So those are just a couple little hacks that I use. If you want to use them, great. If you have questions about them, let me know. But they have been helpful to keep my Canvas on my end a little bit more manageable.